G'day guys, Aaron Off-Roader here. Welcome to the channel, especially if you're new. Make sure you backtrack through a couple of my older videos, there's plenty on there. But for now, this is my 2018 Toyota Prado Kakadu. But this episode, I'm going to run you through a few of the little secrets of how I've managed to fit 35s to this vehicle. I've fitted some Total Chaos body mount chop plates from the US. Also a 1-inch Toytec Lifts body lift from the US. So that also suits the FJ Cruiser. The chassis are pretty much the same. That's where they get their short wheelbase from. So wheel, tyre and combo I opted was the BFG KM3s in a 315/70/17. So I've got the Method non-beadlock 315 alloys, and they are a 0 offset 17 by 8.5 inch. So I feel this offset's pretty good. It does stick out of the guards a little bit, but I'm happy to run that. I reckon it looks pretty smick. Also, as a bit of an added extra, I threw it on the weighbridge and done a before and after brake test. So stay tuned, I'll run through the whole lot of that through this video. I was planning for the worst, so this has been a bit of a rush build with a deadline as I go to Tasmania tomorrow. But as you'll see, I'll just bring up a couple of photos now. This is from before Christmas. So I went to my mate Joey's house and we fit his 35 by 12.5 wheels off his Patrol, but the wheel nuts were different. So we couldn't actually bolt them on properly and take them for a drive. Also, I had no lift in the vehicle at all. So we could only really go off by eye. So you'll see in the video, I was convinced that I had to move the rear axle back. Custom set of long arms in the rear, adjustable top arms, I had a tail shaft spacer, and I knew the Airbag Man airbags could handle 20mm of misalignment. So I was thinking I would have had to make them rear arms 15mm longer, just to get the wheel away from the back door. I just didn't think it was going to work, and I really prepared for to make a set of rear arms. But you'll see in the video as it progresses, we didn't actually need them. So, you know, when you're stepping out in the darkness, sometimes you don't know what you're going to run into. Can get better, can get worse. But at least I was prepared, so I wouldn't miss my trip. So this trip's been in the pipework for nearly a year now. It's mainly a family trip, so it was important for me to make this trip. So it is in the game plan to re-gear this vehicle. So I'm going to put some 456 diff gears in this, taking it up from the 3.9, and that should bring it bang on back to standard gearing. So what I'm hoping from that is a little bit more drivability and hopefully some fuel economy increases, because as we know, bigger tyres, it uses more fuel, because the gearing's out and whatnot, more rotating mass. So what it's reading on the dash now is between 14 and 15 litres per 100, but the Speedo is now out as well. So that's a minor inconvenience, but it's nothing you can't overcome. At 100 kilometers an hour on the Speedo, the GPS speed is reading 108, so it's pretty easy to work around it. But that means the fuel economy reading on the dash is actually not really correct either. So it's about 8% out or 9%. So if it's reading 15, it's slightly in the high 13s. So I will do some more content on this. So I'm heading down from basically Newcastle to Melbourne over the next couple of days, and I'll see how we go there. Also, when I do the diffs, I'm planning on building the diffs myself, and we may even see a front locker in this later this year. I've got a custom draw set to do later this year as well, and hopefully probably not a lot more, because this thing's pretty built up already. I'm super happy with it. Words cannot explain it. It's my dream four-wheel drive, really. I just knew the Prado 150 platform had more to go for me, and because I've had this body lift since the last car, that was always the plan. So to see me here, I'm so happy with it, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. Righto legends, welcome back to another episode of the Kakadu Build Series. So today is probably an Australian first. We are doing a 1-inch body lift for this Prado 150. You wouldn't know just yet, but I've got big plans for big tyres, and I'm going to 100% need this body lift. So yeah, we're going to be throwing that in. It's going to be a hard one to film today. Not sure how good the footage is going to be, but we've got a full team going on here, ripping the seats out. Got to pull these panels out, camo, Shauno. We found the first bolt hole just down in here under the carpet. Not sure if you can see, but there's one bolt there. Having the 1-inch body lift, I'm hoping to just adjust the bull bar up. When we cut the bull bar, we left a bit more plastic on by request, so there's a fair bit of adjustment in that TJM bar, so we should be alright. Side steps are just going to lift up to the limits, and then a rear bar, I'm going to be doing a custom one. I'm not going to make it myself, I'm going to get a company or something. See if I can find a company that wants to work with me and make something custom and pretty unique. So that's what's happening here. So I'll just show you what we're dealing with. So there's 8 mounts in total. This is one. This is one. Bolts up in through there. There's a hole, so you can get to that. Second one back. It's under the carpet. In under there. As we all know, this is the one that everyone chops, this body mount, which mine will be getting chopped as well. That's the bottom of it. Third one back, just in through there in the carpet. What are you laughing at? Fourth one back. Just digging into it. It's in the back there. The beauty about the 1-inch body lift is your factory rubbers still fit in the fronts, and there your brake line. See the coil in there? That's your brake line. So when you jack the body up, it just flexes that, which is extremely flexible, which is doesn't create any damage. All your handbrake cables still reach. There is a steering shaft in here though, so there's 2 uni joints, so just loosen both off, and the kit was supplied with a 10mm spacer for the steering shaft, but the FJ Cruiser is different, but there was heaps of shaft on there, so I got like 4mm out of each. The other one's inside the cab, so it's just up in here. You won't miss it. Yeah, so just loosen both off, leave the steering wheel straight. Thing to note is engine driven fan. You have to drop your radiator. So I've dropped the radiator 1 inch, so you'll see that's it's got an inch in there now, which I'm just going to put a bit of foam in there to fill the gap. The kit came with all those necessary brackets, so that wasn't too bad. Wasn't a perfect fitment as it was the FJ Cruiser kit, but pretty close. And the other way you notice is by this gap along the back of the chassis, which makes it easier to get to your shocks. In my case, the airbag's in there too actually, which is pretty handy. On the back, which lets this bumper sag down, because that sagged down, that tyre fit. So when you open and close that door, it doesn't even hit it. It's just sagged down because there's no support in there for an inch. So you can still stand on it, just flex this down, it's pretty flexible, doesn't cover anything. In terms of why I went this body lift, main reason is tyre clearance. So I've seen some people try and fit some larger tyres, the Prado 150, but you're really limited on your up travel with your suspension. I used to have 32.6-inch tyres on my last Prado, and if you hit a big washout, the tyre would hit the top of the guard. So the only way to stop that happening is to either use strut spacers, which is always sort of a bad combination, especially for CVs. You can destroy many CVs doing that. Or space your bump stops down, so that limits your travel, and ultimately it's not going to be that good off-road. So with this 1-inch body lift, it's an extra inch of tyre all the way around. Quick update this morning on the Project 35s. So we're going to try and add a bit of value to the community here at the same time. Every time you say you're going to put bigger tyres on your car, someone always asks, oh, how does that affect your braking and whatnot? So it definitely does, but we want to see how much. So we're going to do a bit of controlled testing on these stock wheels. Just pulling up at a weighbridge now, and I'm going to weigh it for you guys. And this screen looks to be off. Due to a lightning strike, the weighbridge is out of action until further notice. Well, there goes that idea. Just pulling up at Bunnings. Follow. What we're going to do here is we're going to go get a measuring tape so we can measure how we go. We've already done a bit of testing in the street, and these Prados are already sort of known for having pretty amazing brakes, so it pulled up on an absolute dime, but we're going to get a longer tape and try some bit higher speeds. Where are we going to find the goods, mate? Over here. Ooh. Any good bargains or what? Tape measure. Oh mate, sideways. 30 metre tape. Good to go. So what we're going to do is we've got my car here ready to go. We're in a secret testing location, 100 km/h region. So we're going to try it at 60, 80 and 100 and see what happens. Is it ready to go? Please wait. Is it ready? Oh, feel the power, mate. Never late in a 2.8. G'day legends, another big day. Been editing Ep 4 of the Build Series, which you may have already seen. Fitted up the bar work and that at TJM. So what's happening here today is I've got to go and get these 35s from TJM Hunter Valley, so it's about an hour drive away. I've got quite a bit of stuff here in the back, which I'm is all involved in the project. So here we've got the superior arms. So I was able to buy adjustable upper arms. We've got to modify these and put the height sensor adjustment brackets on it. Tail shaft spacer, superior. TJM sidestep, I've got some stainless steel spacers machined for that. So I can fit them on, and I've got to go pick up the step. So the steps had 35mm cut off it, and it's been welded back up. Another thing is the lower arms. So these got to be custom made. One of my workmates is a gun welder. Heaps of experience in building full drives, long arms, everything for patrols and that. So we're going to his tomorrow to try and fit that up. I've had to machine some eyes up for the bushes, so we're going to press them in, but they're Nolithane ones, so hopefully you can press them in by hand. Also got Total Chaos. So these are body mount chop plates, suit a FJ Cruiser or something like that, but they are the same chassis. So the 120 series Prado as well is very, very similar. I don't believe there's much changed at all. If anything, it might be exactly the same. So there's that. Last but not least, I've got these Peter McKinnon Polar Pro variable ND filters. So I've got one on the lens right now. That's a 2 to 5 stop. This is a 6 to 9. So big investment there, but to go with the new Sony lenses, should be a lot nicer and no choppy footage. The problem I've got in going to get these 35s is I organised my brother's ute, but because we're running out of days, he's doing his build, I'm doing my build, and the tyres didn't quite come in time. He's put a tub rack and that on his ute now, so it's not really going to be good to put 5 tyres in. So I'm going to have to try and make it work with this. Woo! Holy smokes, this might be an interesting drive. So up on the top of the Bush Company tent, I've got these tracks. You can slot a bolt head down the track, and I've got some eyelets from Bunnings, so they're only a couple of dollars each. So I'm going to put them in there and use them as tie downs. Obviously not going to be doing any rough terrain with them up there, but just to get them home on the highway. In the back, so I'm hoping to get 2 tyres up the top. In the back I've just measured, so I've got 1,000 mils, so I'm sure the tyres aren't probably bigger than that, but I'm going to have to ask Siri. So hang on. Holy shit. Hey Siri, how many millimeters is 35 inch?
It's 889 millimeters.
889, so pretty tight fit. If I can get 3 in there with the seats folded down, I'll be stoked. If not, I don't know, I'll just get 4 and deal with the spare later, because the spare, that's another issue I've got to speak to who's got the side steps. This spare isn't going to fit, so the problem is with the spare is the bottom. So there's only, I don't know, there's not much room there, put it that way. So that's a bit of an issue there. That's one I'm going to have to overcome, make a custom bracket or something. I know one thing's for sure, it's starting to rain and I want to get the hell out of this storm. It is getting wild. Oh, let's get out of here. Oh my god, not a word of a lie. It's been about 40 seconds. I just had to run in, grab some tie downs. Of course I forgot something, and I'm drenched. Oh, that was hectic. Whew. Righto, just picked up my Nolthane bushing kit, so I've got my verniers out, making sure that they're right, because I would have had to make an emergency call just then to make sure that crusher's going to be alright on those eyelets for the rear lower control arms. But if you're not too sure why the rear lower control arms are going to have to be custom made, just hang on, it'll be quite evident tomorrow. So it's still raining, just picked up the side step. So it's had 35mm chopped off here, and that plate moved back. So then when the spacers go on, it'll all fit nicely. Why's my phone ringing? Hello? How are ya? Yeah, legend. Hello. I'll come and grab them now, eh? Oh, you're joking. Hail. Bits of hail. No joke. Woo. Custom spacers. Ready for some custom arms. The 12.9 grade bolts for the tail shaft, a couple of side step bolts, and for the tie downs on the roof. Alright, this is what we've ended up with. So there's actually a lot more room in the back of a Prado, a lot more than you'd think. Just tightening these up, and then start heading home. So check this out though, in the back I've got 5 wheels and tyres, got a side step in there, I've got a battery tray, I've got all the manufactured parts for tomorrow, and a bash plate. So, oh, bloody nuts. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here because I come in right at the end of the day, stitch these guys up, but they always look after me, so I'll get it out the front so they can lock up. Oh my god, have a look at this. That is sketchy. The things you do to push the limits. Righto legends, today is the day. Just been walking around with the microphone off, so that's gone. Got the tyres out. I'm here with Joey in his shed. So we're going to make some pretty cool shit happen today, aren't we?
Shit, yeah.
So yeah, Joey's had heaps of 4 drives in his time, and he's got an XR6 turbo that's going to have a whole heap of horsepower soon.
One day.
One day. So yeah, we're gonna rip into this body mount shop first, try and get these front wheels on, see how we go with that, see what we're dealing with, and then we've got to make these custom rear arms for the rear to bring that axle back. So yeah, we're gonna start with the chop and see how we go. Righto, we've got the wheels off. Just gonna get these mud flaps off, and then this is the body mount under here, which you'll see a lot better when we get that off, and start chopping. So it sounds pretty bad chopping in your chassis, but it's actually a pretty common mod. It'll be a lot more common than what you think, I reckon. So you can buy pre-made plates from a lot of companies, because no one really does them to the Prados. This is a Total Chaos kit from the US for an FJ Cruiser. So it's the same chassis as an FJ Cruiser, so I'm going to use these bad boys. Classic. Some of the glare off the ground. Oh, it has. Alright, we're just throwing wheel number 1 on. Doing a bit of a straight edge. I'm vertically up on that. That's the shot.
It's not going to be too bad on the body mount, eh? Like, I reckon, as I said, we'll have to trim that. We'll have to actually take that bottom section out.
Yeah.
And just bash that around the corner a little bit, but the body mount's going to be the least of our worries. I reckon the washer bottle and that, as you said, in the front's probably going to give you more dramas.
Yeah. Right, pretty happy with the clearance in the front at the moment. There's a bit of work to do with the inner guard a bit later on, but I think we're going to take it forward driving first and get them wheels right up in the guards and see what we're dealing with. Just going to pull these rear wheels off now and put the new ones on, and we can do some cycles with the airbags up and down and see how they're sitting and see how much longer we're going to make these arms.
We'll go the other side.
Keep coming, bro. Keep coming. Keep coming. Oh, whoa. Yeah, that'll be good. That rear's fine, eh? Oh, no, this side's better, eh? It only just clips it. But that's full lock, probably nearly there. Yeah.
So we retain this last bolt here, and then further on from down there, that pinch weld has been folded back into the body, put a bit of sealant over it, painted what we had to. So we've slightly made a new bracket in here, this metal quarter panel. All this is plastic, so that was easy to trim, no worries there. And then just the body mount. So all that has resulted in 35s under a Prado. Righto, it's been a pretty big day in the shed, as you can see. Lots of grinding sparks. Bits here. Bit of the guard. Inner guard. Bit of the chassis. So yeah, it's been a bit of a big day. It's been a bit on. That's alright, because this looks bloody mint. Even Joey's impressed with it.
I reckon 35's fit on a Prado, mate.
I reckon they
No
do too.
scrub at all.
No scrub at all, mate. So yeah, just doing the last clearance, and now done a heap in under the guard, but just these are going to be a bit of an issue. So see where they're going to end up, and I can just get them marked and refolded, so or tigged up. See what happens. But the wheel offset went alright. The spare went on, but I left the spare at home because I didn't think we'd get that far. But we have, so it's pretty mint. Righto, good morning legends. I've just got night shift tonight. We come out of Joey's at about 11 o'clock last night, so I've just got a couple of things to sort out. I drove home, sweet, it was about 50 k's to get home for me. I've got the bull bar side guards removed, I've got the rear mud flaps still removed, and the front inner guards, but the only reason the inner guards are out are because of these, and I didn't want to chew them up on the way home. So yeah, should be able to sort even the rear mud flap out, because the way it's designed, it's a little bit silly, but it juts out in that point. So I don't know if I'm going to have a bit of a go at trying to chop that back and then folding it in on itself, and maybe trying to even like plastic weld it back together, just so it doesn't have that big jut out. I'll just lose one mounting hole, and all I'll have to do is just trim some of that behind that mark there, which you won't even see. So it'll still all mount up the same. It'll use a heap of the bolts anyway, so it'll sit in the same position, just won't hit the tyre. So that's the idea behind that. I've got 5 wheels in the back and no spare, because I only took 4 over there. I didn't think we'd get that far, but that spare was going straight on, so I'll get the spare out of the shed now, unload all this stuff here, and I'm going to start working on the scrub bars. I want to get the scrub bars on the front now that I've got both steps on and I'm happy with how they're sitting. Put the scrub bars on, a couple of hours there, but yeah, let's rip in. Spare wheel was 2 6mm wheel spacers, just the flat top without studs, so ended up being about 12mm just to keep the tyre off hitting the paint. A couple more days have passed, a couple of night shifts, and just meeting up with a workmate, Mav. He reckons he knows a mate that can fold up these plates, because these are one of the last things to go on, and once these are cut and trimmed up to clear the tyres, we can put the inner guard back in. So that's pretty high on my priority list at the moment, because the inner guard fits quite good actually, so pretty lucky there. And then the last thing after that is just fiddle with these rear mud flaps, and then it's basically finished. So I've got to give all this car a good tidy up, and then I've got heaps more electrical work to do, so that's another mission for another day. If you see me getting around with no bull bar side guards, it's because I'm extremely disappointed with the job I got done. Old mate has stuffed it up completely, and I'm not sure that it's worth at all. So I'm not sure I'm even going to be able to get my inner guards in. Pretty much it's supposed to be like that. So it's supposed to have a decent lip on there, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. It's too late now. Pretty much leaving on my trip tomorrow, and I've got a fridge, dual battery system, and a lot of other stuff to sort out. So you win some, you lose some. Sometimes a mate of a mate's probably not the best choice. To the weighbridge, they must have got it working after the lightning strike. So the vehicle's 2.74 tonne, pretty much unloaded, so adding any more weight to that I got to be pretty careful, but yeah, that's what it's sitting at. I'm going to try it at 60, 80 and 100 and see what happens. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes, and maybe even Shauno might test his out for one. See how you go with the extra weight. It's a shame he couldn't weigh him, the weigh bridge was out of order, so we'll give it a go anyway. Alright, we're going for the first test now. As soon as I see them markers, I'm on the anchors. So this is a 60 kilometre run. Get up to 60 k's. Cruising. Brace yourself. There we go. Accelerate to 80. So I'm gonna have to get a bit bigger run up this time. Go up to 100 and we'll see how it fares. So this vehicle's already pushing a fair bit of extra weight. It's got the bull bar, the winch, it's got 4mm thick bash plates, it's got a 90 kilo rooftop tent on it, it's got an awning, so there's a fair bit already going on with this car. So a standard one would be even better, I could imagine. The hazard lights definitely come on then. The hazard lights were definitely on there, eh? Yeah. Distances here. My car, we only did one test of each, but should be good enough. 60 to 0, 11.8, 80, 21.7, 100, 35 meters. So we'll test out Sean's. He's got the 285 70/17s. I'm gonna go check this out and make sure he's not cheating. Righto, Sean's going to take my car for a go. So these are both Kakadus. His is a 2015 model. They've got some fancy braking capabilities and emergency braking, all that stuff. So a couple of the variables that I'm sort of seeing here is I reckon his weighs a bit more than mine, but he's got big sticky Mickey Thompson mud tyres, and he said he's got Bendix brakes, so that could be improving what's going on. But here we go, it's coming in to feel the difference. Righto, we've got some inconsistencies here, but I'm going to give it a go in his car. So the real test is going to be when I come out and do this with the 35s on, because there'll be some consistencies there, same vehicle, and really see what's going on. Rightio, just like I said, once I got the big tyres on, I was going to come out and do the brake test again. So what I've got going on here is the markers, so brake at the markers again. I've put one of these out every 10 meters, and then I've got the measuring stick up there. So I'm going to give it a crack with the 35s on and see how it goes. Quick recap of last time, if you can hear me, is I actually think Sean's car performed better than mine, so I reckon that might have something to do with the larger, stickier tyres, and hopefully it's the same here. So we'll have to see how we go. I've got a bit of tyre shine on there too, but I'll see how we go on the first 60-kilometre test first, and see what's going to happen. I'm just going to run the camera here, the GoPro hanging off the sunroof again, and then when we do the big 100-kilometre test, I'm going to put the drone up as well, so add a bit of an extra element. But yeah, I'm out here. It's a solo show today. I've got no helper, so appreciate Sean coming out last time. It was a massive help, so I'll see how I go. Righto, I'm just going to run the 60 test again. I completely forgot to measure it, so we'll go again. Stopped pretty well though. 57, 59, 60. Righto, I'll put my measuring thing out. Rightio, coming up on our second test now, 80 to 0. I pushed too hard through the pedal then, it just let go. I think maybe if I'm a little bit more consistent on the pedal, I'll just give it one more go. Righto, 100 to 0, test number 2. So this is a more consistent pedal press. Yeah, that felt much better. Foot didn't go to the floor this time, where it felt like it went to the floor last time and then came back up and met my foot, but yeah. So all in all, I reckon that stops pretty well, and pretty happy with that. Well, there we go guys, pretty happy with the results. It's all in the name of a bit of fun and safety in mind. You want to sort of know the limits of your vehicle, so it doesn't hurt to do a test like that just to know how your vehicle's going to react. It would probably be good to do it in the wet too, but maybe for another day. I am going to do a brake upgrade later this year, so keep an eye out for that. 2020 is shaking up to be a massive year, so thanks guys for watching. I appreciate the support, and I'll see you on the next one.